Bitcoin has seen a daily candle close below the critical support at 58,000. Will Bitcoin continue toward the downside, retesting 54k, or are the bulls going to step back in and send it upwards? These are questions we're answering in explicit detail today. Let's jump in. Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. In today's video, we are taking a look at the recent daily candle close, the short-term price action, the possibility for a reversal, or a continuation lower. Before we do get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos for Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. By the end of today's video, you will have a detailed and well-rounded understanding of not only what is happening, what you should be paying attention to, but what to expect next. If this is the kind of content you are interested in, you can join us over on Telegram. It is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop of cryptocurrency with Bitcoin and the relevant economic news. If you'll be interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can join us in VIP with over 600 members to get access to trading setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more. You'll also get access to all of our group chats, our general chat, our trading chat and education chat, our news, our help, our daily video, and our trade setup chat. If that is what you're interested in, go ahead and contact me in the pinned comment of the free channel by clicking my name or these links for more information. Again, the VIP channel has been around for 39 months. You can go ahead and check it all out in our links over here. Go ahead and check it out, and let's get into the video. So taking a look at Bitcoin, we can see we've had that recent daily candle close just 2 minutes ago at a price of around 57,500. And of course, if you paid attention to our prior videos, you would know that this daily candle close has now broken below and closed below a critical daily level of support, which was at that 58.3 level. Again, our prior 58.3 level, as we can see on the price action, acted as a daily support level 2 prior times, as well as a daily trigger point in the 3 prior times, being a breakdown, a reversal, a breakdown, and a reversal. We can see when we break a daily candle underneath this level, in the prior 2 times we have done so, we have seen directional continuations towards the range low of the broader descending channel formation. So now that we have closed a daily candle under that level, that becomes an apparent risk, and we'll be discussing whether or not we're going to see that in today's video, as well as the possibility for a reversal since Bitcoin has now reached that lower box of liquidity as per that recent wick. Moving over, guys, to the market data. We'll come back to Bitcoin in just a moment. The market data, 24-hour volume is up 12%. We're sitting at 141 billion. 24-hour liquidations up a massive amount. We're up 74%, sitting at 216 million, 178 million in long liquidations, and 37 million in short liquidations as Bitcoin tumbles toward the downside, breaking below that recent area of resistance, now support, we've actually dropped into. And as you can see, Bitcoin is now challenging this area as an area of resistance, deciding whether or not it's going to see a continuation or break back above and see a continuation upwards. We'll discuss that in the video today. Moving over to the DXY, we can see over here on the DXY is more or less sitting quite neutral. It has been doing so for the last few days now. We've come down and retested this yearly uptrend twice now, sitting around that 103 level. Once again, for the DXY to see a continuation higher, we would need to break above this downtrending diagonal resistance that we have been developing since the start of July. Until then, expect the DXY to continue to chop between that uptrending yearly support level and this downtrending diagonal monthly resistance. If we do see a break upwards, that will result in a strong continuation upwards for the DXY. This would generally be bearish for risk assets. And if we do see that break downwards, this is going to likely trigger a parabolic rally for the risk asset market. Moving over to the S&P 500, a very strong week for the S&P 500. As a consequence of bullish inflation data, we have seen the S&P 500 soar upwards to $5,500, taking out the last 2 weeks of price action, nearly the last 3 weeks of weekly candles on this 1 week price movement alone. Absolutely fantastic move. Once again, as we have been saying, provided the S&P 500 is able to sustain above 5,300 as support, we will very likely see a macro continuation up to 6,000. It is only if we lose 5,300, which is our prior high point, will we see a high time frame trend reversal and continuation lower. Until that happens, the S&P 500 is very much bullish. That is it for the broader updates, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin dominance. We're going to be taking a look at the total market cap. We're going to be taking a look at the daily candle close, and most importantly, discussing the short-term price action and the implications the short-term price action can have on the macro and, of course, the high time frame context. Before we do get into it, guys, if you're interested in 15% off minimum lifetime discounts on your trading fees, this can build up to 40% based on your trading volume. You can go ahead and sign up to my links down below, BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX down below in the pinned comment in the description for 15% off your trading fees. It saved me well over 6 figures in my years of trading and can save you a considerable sum of money. Go ahead, it is free. It takes 15 seconds to sign up. Click the links or play an ad to find out more. I'd like to introduce our partner, BitUnix. BitUnix is a global, non-KYC, no country restriction exchange, making it a perfect exchange to trade on if you're from the USA, from Canada, the Netherlands, or just prefer to trade without KYC. This exchange is a futures and spot exchange with over 200 different trading pairs and some of the lowest fees in the game. If you sign up with my link down below, you'll get access to 15% off your trading fees, as well as an exclusive reward center where you can claim up to a multitude in USDT prizes. So go ahead and sign up with my link down below for 15% off, and I'll see you in there. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get stuck back into Bitcoin, and we're going to try keep today's analysis compact and short and just smash right through it. So taking a look at Bitcoin, we have been discussing the significance of the midline for a very long time. We have been talking about this midline level ever since all the way back on this retest at the 1st of July. And we've noticed that upon the breakout on the daily of this midline level and the failure to do so, we see directional continuations towards range highs and range lows of our broader descending channel formation. We can see moving forward just how significant this level of resistance has been as a invalidation point and a barrier for a continuation higher. So we know first and foremost, if Bitcoin wants to see a continuation into the price range of anywhere above 62,000 upward into that range high region, the first barrier of which we need to break above to facilitate any sort of movement into this range is going to be a daily candle close above that dotted trend line. So then that opens up the question, well, now we are in this lower region of this descending channel formation. The big question is, where are we going to see reversals from, which could take the price over that midline, and will we find support or will we retest the range low prior to doing so? Those are the big questions right now we need to address, because we know for a large fact, which is a daily candle close above this midline based on historical price action, we see directional continuations into this upper region of the channel. So we want to wait for that bullish continuation to 70, to 69, we know what needs to happen. We know we need to see a daily candle above that midline. Now again, this midline lines up with many other significant levels. It lines up with the 200 SMA, it lines up with the 50 EMA, it lines up with the Gaussian channel 3-day midline. If we go ahead and bring that up, we can show you really quickly. Let's bring the Gaussian channel midline up on the 3-day chart. You can see how that lines up the mid-level right over here. There it is crossing over. It even lines up with the bull market support band. So it lines up with some major technical levels. There's a technical and a structural confluence point, a major point of which Bitcoin needs to break above to flip back bullish and see a continuation into the range high. So let's now address what is happening right now. What we have seen in the last 10 minutes is we have seen Bitcoin close its daily candle. And generally a daily candle close doesn't really matter too much, but in this instance we have seen a daily candle close under what is quite an important daily level of support, and that is going to be the 58.3k level. Historically, we have seen the 58.3k level act as a support. We have seen support here, we have seen support here, we have seen about a week of resistance, we have seen again a rejection and failure to sustain above, and we have seen around a 4 or 5 day period of support before the recent breakdown. So this level, although isn't a major area of support, it is definitely a short-term trigger point for continuations. What we have noticed in the past is that when we see daily closes below this level, exhibit number 1, exhibit number 2, or daily closes above this level, exhibit number 1 and exhibit number 2, we see directional continuations. In the instances where we close a daily candle above, we see continuations to the midline, and in instances where we close daily candles below, we see corrections to retest the range low or retest this liquidity box. In this instance, we have done one of the two. We have seen a daily candle close below, which has facilitated a retest of this lower box of liquidity. This is going to be a higher time frame area of support. But will we see a directional continuation to the range low? That is a possibility, and we're going to be answering that question when we go to our short-term chart. Now, the reason I'm saying all this is because it holds some very key trigger points. We know that what we have seen historically is that daily closes above this level has equally resulted in directional continuations higher. And therefore, if we are able to close a daily candle above 58.3k again, that could be the trigger to validate a directional continuation back to retest that midline. I want you to really remember that. A lot of people forget it. A lot of people are going to ignore that statement. I want you to really remember that statement. If we close a daily candle back above this level, that could facilitate a directional continuation towards a midline, as we have seen occur in the prior two instances. That is what we are looking out for the bullish case scenario. So let's quickly zoom out to the macro context and then jump into the short term and answer the questions about what's going to happen on the short term price action. So let's take a look at this high time frame context. What we can see over here is if we go ahead and bring a horizontal ray over here and apply it to our VRPV, we're going to be looking at this point right over here. This is going to be the point at which the VRPV starts to significantly decline. As you can see, this lines up with the upper region of our liquidity box, which opens up this downward region over here of a region of higher historical volatility, or an area of lower historical resistance, or in this instance, lower historical support. And therefore, if we do see the price drop below this red line is sitting at a price point of 565.50, we will likely see bearish volatility increase to facilitate a directional continuation to fill this gap in the VRPV at 54k, which will result in a retest of the range low. So we know that 565.50, and if we go ahead and mark that on the short-term chart, we'll go ahead and put a ray in so we remember it, 565.50, which is going to be right over here. A loss of that level will likely result in a directional continuation down to that 54k region. We'll come back and discuss when we get to the short term, but you can see how that plays out here based on our volume ranges. So if Bitcoin were to see a reversal, we would like to see a reversal develop prior to a loss of 56.550. Talking about high time frame context, guys, while we're in the confines of this descending channel formation, downward price action is totally normal. It is healthy, it is expected. The only thing that is not going to be considered normal would be a break or loss of the range low of the descending channel formation. The descending channel formation statistically is a bullish consolidation pattern, and therefore statistically it has a higher degree of probability for a break upwards than it does a break downwards. That doesn't mean a break downwards is impossible, but it means the break upwards is still going to be the more probable directional continuation of which the price action will undergo as a consequence of the formation of which the price action has been developing. Remember, a channel is not a channel simply because it's a channel. A channel develops as a consequence of people's behaviors, buying and selling over a period of time. It is a reflection of market participants' decisions over a period of time. And we understand what that can be derived as a consequence of. If we take a look at this channel and we understand what this channel means, who understands that it's a consequence of specific decisions over a period of time, we know that specific decisions lead to specific outcomes. So when we see these downward consolidations, we know what that means. We know it's a period of, again, downward price action as we are in two down-sloping parallel trend lines. We know that it's a bullish consolidation as the lower area of support is able to sustain a support, and we know that bearish momentum starts to decrease over the period of this downtrend, which increases the likelihood of a directional continuation upwards, which means bears eventually exhaust as the downward selling pressure decreases as the length of the channel consolidates. So, will it always go upwards? No, but it is statistically more likely to go upwards because everything in the market is cause and effect. These things aren't random. This is why structures have significance when you apply them correctly. But let's move over to the short term now, guys. This is the short-term price action. And as we said yesterday, we were sitting around about over here in yesterday's video. We told you guys, we were not looking for longs yet. In fact, we actually took a short on Ethereum. It played out very, very well. Here's our Ethereum short right over here at 19.5% profit on a 5x short. Fantastic. But we were telling you guys, we weren't really expecting to take a long over here. If you're going to take a long, you will be taking longs in this lower region of support. If you did take a long in this support region, you caught a fantastic bounce for Bitcoin of around 3.5%, a fantastic move. Bitcoin has since corrected from there and has resulted in a loss and rejection, as well as a retest of our region of support, which is at 57.3 to 57.8. Bitcoin is now in a tricky position. It has really two options. Option number one, which is going to be the bearish option. Any price action between where we are currently sitting and this red line is going to mean very little. It's going to mean very little. If we drop below this red line, that is going to be the trigger for a continuation into the high 54 to low 54 region, which is going to be our descending channel range low support. We definitely do not want to drop below this level, and if we do see a retest, we will be looking for bullish reversals to develop from this region. Okay, I'll make that very clear, so go ahead and re-listen to that part. For the bullish scenario, Bitcoin has one alternative alone. That is going to be on the short term to break out of this downtrending diagonal resistance. If Bitcoin is able to break through this downtrending diagonal resistance, I would then expect a directional continuation into this range high. Guess what will happen? We will see a daily candle close above that short-term resistance, and that will likely trigger what we have seen in the past, directional continuations to the midline. That is what we're looking for the bullish case scenario. We do not need to overcomplicate it. Do not look at too many indicators. Do not overcomplicate it. Simply follow what the price is suggesting. Okay, that is it, guys. We're going to leave the video there. If you have any questions, of course, leave them down below. Have a fantastic start to your weekend tomorrow, and we'll catch you guys on Sunday. See you then.